Support Pro Play Games on Patreon.
What's up, card fighters? Mike here, and I'm coming at you with another deck profile for Cardfight Vanguard. Now we have a Apex Ruler Bastion deck profile. This is one of my favorites because I've always been Royal Paladin, so I love Keter Sanctuary, and it combines a lot of it. And I love the new stuff that came out for Bastion, and I'm really excited to show you. I'm using not that many of the new stuff. While I did like a lot of it, I decided to keep a lot of it from the original set. I like the card effects and I like the ratios I had, and I just switched some stuff around, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, first we have the same ride line as before: the Knight of the Heavenly Bow base, the Knight of the Heavenly Sword fort, the Knight of the Heavenly Sphere rooks, and the big man himself, Apex Ruler Bastion. The ride combo works the same. These are the exact same cards from the starter deck that you've all known and loved for the short amount of time that they have been out. Alright, so let's get started with our Grade 3 lineup, which is basically the whole deck. We have our Apex Ruler Bastion. You want that Persona ride. There's not much explanation that needs to be said here. You want the Persona ride. You want the extra 10k for your front row Grade 3 rear guards. Then you still have your most important draw piece, Grand Heavenly Sword Alden. Alden is amazing as he's always been. Counterblast 2, draw 1, call a rear guard from hand, and if it's a Grade 3, you draw 2. And every time he attacks, if you have 3 or more Grade 3 rear guards, he gets 5k. That includes, guys, that when he restands, after being restood by Bastion, he restands and attacks again, he will gain the 5k again. Don't cheat yourselves out of that extra pressure and that extra 5k. And then we have 4 of the Knights of War damage. Fasado. Fasado still as amazing as he's always been. He can't be retired by card effects, so that's really cool for stuff like Brand Gate, that he can't be chosen by card effects. So that's really important for stuff like Brand Gate Prison, that likes to imprison your cards. Brand Gate Orphis, that they like to retire stuff, especially with the new stuff they have out, or with the order card that they were already playing. Verena, with their Verena, that the one from the starter deck that Soul Blasts 2 to retire. He is immune to all that, and more importantly, when his attacks hit, you get to counter charge and soul charge, which is really important. You want that soul for the next card that I'm gonna go into, the Darkstrain Dragon. He is your main form of boosting. He is what helps you hit those incredibly huge numbers, and he requires 2 Soul Blasts, so you really want to charge up your soul with Fasado, and more importantly, you also want to counter charge, because a lot of your cards, Alden and the other order, which I still play, requires Counter Blast 2, so you really want that extra pressure. Alright, let's go into some other cards. We still have the Knight of Broadax Refluke. Refluke is still good. I play him at 3. I know a lot of people like him at 4, but I feel like I see him enough, so I've moved him down to 3. I've always had him at 3. And he's amazing. You get to put him into your soul, thus increasing your soul count, and he gets to give something 10k, thus increasing your pressure on the board. And then we have our last playset of Grade 3s, the Kokobiel. She is really important. I know some people prefer not to even play her at all, but this deck already has, imagine your whole lineup is Grade 3s, you really want that defense somehow, and most of the time she can guard for that 10k to block, which is the most annoying thing to have to do with this new Overdress format, where you have to, if you have to block something for exactly 10k, it's really hard, because normally you only have a 5 and a 15, so you really want to get something that could get you a 10k guard. And a lot of times, depending on the amount of Grade 3s you have out, she could be that 10k guard, or she can be a 15k guard if you have enough Grade 3s out too. So I just like her versatility as defense. Even if, let's say, you only have Bastion out, she counts Bastion as the Grade 3 as well as herself. So at the very least, when you use her to defend, she will be a 5k shield. So it's better than nothing. So it's nice to know that even in your hand, at worst, she's a 5k shield. Alright guys, let's get on with the others. We have, of course, our PG, same as the other PGs. When you have a low enough hand count, you get to play for free. Lets you block those crazy over trigger 100 million numbers, and lets you live, which is important so that you can win. And then we have the new order that came out in this set, Form Up O Chosen Knights. This card is crazy, guys. This is what's going to take Bastion to another level. I personally play it at 2, but let's go into it. For the cost of counterblasting and Soul Blast 1, you get to perform all the actions depending on the number of grade 3 units you have. If you have 2 or more, you get to choose something and give it 5k. If you have 3 or more, you get to draw a card, and if you have 4 or more, you get to do an extra drive check, which is crazy. It's gonna let you increase the probability of seeing a grade 3 in the drive, while at the same time seeing a trigger, and even hopefully seeing an over trigger, so that you can win, because the Keter over trigger, if you have your full grade 3 board, is nuts. I played at 2 because I still like playing 2 of the Hour of Heavenly Judgment Cometh from the starter deck. I find myself still playing 2 of this. I may move it down to 1 and then play 3 Form Up. That's up to you guys. Or you could even take it out completely and play 4 of this. The choice is up to you. I personally just like this ratio because a lot of times, especially with Leonard out, you guys need to know that Leonard destroys your whole columns in Vanguard. He destroys everything when he attacks. Unless you block everything, you will lose a lot of your grade 3s, so you will find yourself lacking grade 3s. So I like having this as a backup in case I don't have enough grade 3s to do the whole line for formable chosen knights. I like this knowing that I can at least draw 2 and still get cards to my hand to help me block, or even grade 3s to help me extend. Alright, next we have lastly the trigger lineup. We play, of course, the amazing Keter Sanctuary over trigger. Really needs no introduction, same as last set, but I'll do it anyway just in case for you newcomers. When it is checked in the drive check, you get to obviously draw your card from the over trigger effect, but then you get the additional effect that all of your rear guards do drive checks when they attack. So since you have grade 3s, they do twin drive, meaning you're getting 2 cards per attack. So imagine you're getting the 2 cards from the Bastion Vanguard attack, and then if you hit this, your rear guards are going to get twin drive when they attack, which is nuts. The amount of hand that the amount of cards you're gonna add to your hand off that is crazy. The triggers you'll probably hit is even crazier. It's just really hard to lose when you hit this thing. Then we're trying to pressure the opponent as much as possible, so I play 8 critical triggers in total. You want to hit them as hard as possible, you want to hit them for as much damage as possible, you want to win as fast as possible. It's just that simple. And then lastly, you want the new card, Bard of the Heavenly Song, Alpak. She is really good, just like she has the same effect as all the new front triggers, which is when you guard and your opponent is at grade 3 or greater, she will gain an additional 5k. That's amazing. You now have 20k shields again in Vanguard, which is exactly what we need. These new numbers hit for high, and a lot of times you just don't have enough cards in your hand, or you just need a 20k shield exactly to stop an attack, and you don't want to have to give up too many cards from your hand. So giving up just 1 card is really good. And then honestly, the front trigger is not bad either. You get to give your whole front row 10k. It's just really hard to not like this card. These new cards are really good. These new front triggers are a nice way to basically tell the community, hey, look, you could have more defense and more power. And then lastly, the 4 heal triggers. Pay no attention to me, guys. I just really like this heal trigger specifically, but I also like the other one, so I just like playing 2 and 2. You could play 4 of this or 4 of this. It'll be the exact same effect. I'm just weird like that. Don't worry about it. Alright guys, that was Apex Ruler Bastion. Really hope you enjoyed it, and fight on.